Sign number. First example, we're going to insert the proper signs between two numbers. The sign we're talking about less than, equal to, and greater. So when we're looking at example A, when we're comparing 1 and 2, we're going to think about the number line here. So let's say if we have number line, we know on the number line, middle is 0. From the 0 on the right side will be all the positive number, and when you approach the right side arrow, you know that number is getting bigger. So right side will be always bigger than the left side. So this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're going to have negative on the other side. So it will be -1, -2, -3. And when you're comparing two numbers, don't forget on the number line, on your right side is always bigger. So when you're looking at 1, you can see 1 is here, and 2 is on the right side of the 1. So since right side is bigger, you're going to draw the arrow, distractions. So pointed area means pointed side means that number is smaller. Open side means that that number is larger. So when you're reading this, you could say 1 is smaller than 2. When we're looking at the second one, you have -1 and 2. -1 right here. 2 is on the right side of -1, so it looks like 2 is bigger. So you're going to use -1 is less than 2. And see, when we're looking at -5 and -7, so -5 should be somewhere right here. -7 will be on the left side. So even though we know that 7 is larger than 5, when you have negative attached to it, -7 becomes smaller because it will be on the left side. So left side will be that direction. So -5 is greater than -7. What about 0 and -5? And 0 is on the right side of negative number, so 0 will be always larger than negative number. So you're going to read 0 is greater than -5. What about if you have a 0 and -100? Right? No matter how big your number is, if you have negative in front, always smaller than 0. So 0 is larger than -100. What about if you have a square root of 4 comparing with 3? Square root of 4, we need to understand this is going to be equals to 2, right? Square root of 4 is same as 2 times 2, which will give you 2. So 2 smaller than 3, yes, because 3 is on the right side of 2. So when 3 is larger, you're going to say square root of 4 is smaller than 3. And let's look at example 2. What about absolute value? Absolute value is distance. So for example A, when it's a absolute of 2, it means that what's the distance from 0 to 2? So when it's a absolute value, they're asking for distance from 0. So absolute of 2 means what's the distance from 0 to 2? So it will be 2. It means example B, absolute of -5, what's the distance from 0 to -5? It will be +5, right? If we wanted to look at that. 0 right here and -5 right there. So what's the distance from 0 to -5? This distance right here is going to be 5. What about negative of distance from 0 to negative 2? Well, distance from 0 to negative 2 is just 2, but negative of that distance will be negative 2. So when you're looking at negative inside of absolute value, because they're talking about distance, you can get rid of them like you did that on the B, right? But if you have a negative outside, it should be just bring down.